So evaluating the chin, so a lot of time we see when there is not enough support in the mentum, we see the mentalis contracting as we are seeing right now, and it starts to change the surface of the skin, and we get that very deep orange peel appearance supporting the lower lip up. So from a standpoint of, I'm going to turn you to the side, the severity, we can see this would be a significant retrusion of the chin, as what our goal would have been to have this at least reach the vermilion border or about 1 millimeter away from it. Now, as we can see, this is younger individuals, so there's going to be a more difficulty extending the skin, but I think we can do a fairly good job. Our patient here, she's got a very nice jawline. The mandibular ligament is not that adherent. Some individuals, we have this depression here, and you have to be more superficial to resolve that. If you go too deep, then you get the donut effect, and the product ends on either above or below. In those individuals, you want to be more superficial and get also underneath. I like to move around the table, make sure I look at patients three-dimensionally, not just from one angle, but this, just like we start here. This is a fairly robust hyaluronic acid that is FDA approved for the jawline, so I find it very suitable. You can see a fairly good lift. It does require more punctures, but it makes it much safer. And in this region right here is closer to the periosteum. Now, one of the reasons that I feel like I need to be somewhere in between is because I want to get more lift on the skin. If I'm too deep, then I wouldn't be able to get that lift. If you look from the side to side, you notice that there's less of a movement of the muscle here, more depression on this side. Retrograde fashion. I just feel more comfortable when I do that. I'm right over the periosteum, I'm pulling back. I'm also in an oblique fashion so that I have more room to pull back. Slow insertion. You can see a fairly quick improvement in that depression that the mentalis muscle was causing, trying to support the lower lip. Now this is, obviously this is before the lidocaine had a chance to have its effect on the nerves and make the mentalis. Forgive me for hurting you. Now, my objective is not to elongate in a vertical fashion the mentum. It's actually anterior projection. But you do have the option to do that for individuals who need that type of projection. So make sure we make that transition smooth. So this is just in a subcutaneous fashion. Forgive me for hurting you. I'm not deep on the bone right now, because that is the area of mental foramen. And just subcutaneous to make sure the skin itself above starts to look even with the transition. My goal is not to completely bring her to be a 0 or a 1 on the scale of mandibular retrusion. It is to improve her proportionality. I would like to, I'm sorry for hurting you, make that depression a bit less visible and make it so that the smoother transition by placing this product here. I want to make sure that transition is smooth also. This is subcutaneous. I'm not placing this close to the mental foramen and the mental nerve, but I want to make sure that transition to the chin is not pointy, it's a gradual transition. Although we are not at where we would say is a 1 or a 0 retrusion, but we have made a difference. And we can see the signs of seeing depression in the surrounding area. There we are. I'm in the subcutaneous region, over where I would assume would have been the mental foramen, but I'm not at that depth. I'm sorry for hurting you. And by definition, this is actually making the skin look less the appearance of orange peel and less irregular. There we are, making sure I got this area complete. And so far, fairly symmetrically, we have distributed 3 mLs. You okay? Mm-hmm. Good job.